Stand up if you ready. Hands up if you ready. Say it loud if you ready. This all time we run it. Clap your hands if you ready. Stomp your feet if you ready. Let it be cause you ready. This all time we run it.
Well, here it is, the new bike build, a 1995 Mongoose IBOC Zero G. I bloody love it. This video is not what I planned to do. I have just built this up and I was going to film me putting all the components on and do a bit of a bike build video, but I haven't really had time and I just had to get it built up because I've really got to start training for this big event that's coming up. So bike is finished and instead I'm just going to sort of walk you through what I've done to it, why I wanted to buy it, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I think it's looking pretty good. I've stolen a heap of parts off a 10-year-old XC bike that I own. More on that in a second, but yeah, so that's where some parts are. Before I talk about why I got this, I've got my other older frame here and I just want to show you what I didn't like about that, and that might make sense when I talk about this. Let's have a look at that. So here is the old Mongoose switchback. This thing has been pretty good to me. I've done heaps of trips on it. And when I first got it, I didn't expect to like it, but it's got this Japanese chromoly. It's called Tange or Tangy. I'm not sure how you pronounce it really. And I'd tried a few bikes, but this one just felt really nice to ride. So I absolutely just fell in love with it, rode it a lot. But there's a couple of things that I never really liked about it. And one, it was the look. I'm not sure what it was, but I feel like it was just a bit short and I had to use a really long stem. Just wasn't the biggest fan of that. But the main thing is this 1-inch steerer tube. It's got the 1-inch threaded fork and you need a quill stem, which they can look good if you get fancy chrome ones and nice bars, but generally I'm using a more modern setup. So I've got the quill adapter with a more modern stem. It's worked pretty good, but a few times I've actually turned a bit too hard or the wheels got caught in something and it just twists and it's really frustrating. I've stacked it a couple of times because of it. I actually got one little incident on camera, which is not the best footage, but I'll show you so you can see what I mean. It just turned so easily, so that's not very good. So now that you've seen this whole 1-inch steerer that I don't like, let's go back to the other one and I'll show you the updates. All right, here we are, back on the new beast. As you can see, this one actually has a 1 1/8 headset. It's good for a few things. Don't need that silly quill adapter, but it means I can run, I don't know, there's more options for forks. I can buy brand new forks that will fit in here. You can even put suspension forks on. I just think having the 1 1/8 inch steerer is just a much better option. And this frame is actually a little bit longer than that one, so I don't know, it just looks a little bit better. But this is also a higher model, being the IBOC. Actually, funny story before I go any further. In my last video, I teased this bike and someone wrote a comment, International Bicycle of Champions. I didn't know if he made it up or not, but then I've seen this little sticker down here that says International Bicycle of Champions. So that is really cool. Anyway, this one being the higher model, it's still that Japanese Tange or Tangy chromoly, but this one's a double butted frame, so it's lighter. With this build that I've done now, I've weighed it and it's about 2 kilos lighter than that one. It's around 12 kilos, which is pretty good. Anyway, after getting the frame, they're the two main things that I wanted, as in the bigger headset and the Tange chromoly. I've actually noticed that it's got bottle bosses underneath here. Now I was going to braze them on, but now I don't have to because they come on there from factory. That's awesome. The other thing that I thought was really cool is the rear end on the old Mongoose is a lot wider, like in between the chainstays, than a lot of the other 90s bikes I've had. But this one just goes to the next level. It really bulges out, so you can put much bigger tyres on, which I thought was cool. And I'm actually running all these parts from my old XC bike. So these are 650B wheels. And even with the bigger wheel set, I'm still running, 2.2 tyres on a 650B on an old 90s frame. And it fits. It's pretty bloody cool. I love it. Anyway, What else did I want to talk about? Oh, that's alright. Whoop, nearly knocked it over. Because I've got this bigger wheel in it off my XC bike, it's got a 142mm hub. Now, I was hoping I could... Let's go back a step. Have you ever seen the Surly Knot Boost chainstays or the frames? They've got a 145mm clearance with the idea that if you've got a 142mm hub, you can squeeze it in. Or if you've got a new boost wheel set, which is 148mm, you just flex it open a little bit. They've been doing that for years. It works just great. So before I even picked up this frame, I had this idea that I'd try and open up the chainstays on an old 90s bike to fit in a 142mm hub. And it was super easy. I have had to buy a adapter because this is a 12mm through axle. And now I've got this adapter in and then just a normal quick release. But yeah, it just opens up quite easily, pops in, no dramas at all. Very impressed. Hopefully it doesn't break because that'll suck. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, all these parts are off, or most of these parts are off my Trek. I haven't been working all year because I've done this lap of Australia. Don't want to spend any money on this bike, so I've just stolen parts of everything. I've got the carbon feet, got the carbon handlebars and stem, carbon fibre wheels. Group set is off the other Mongoose, which is just the micro shift one. It's got the biggest cassette that I own, which is a 48 tooth, I think, from memory. So hopefully I can get up some hills with that. Got the XTR brakes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, once I finish the hunt, I want to build my Trek bike back up. I'll probably get that Mongoose running again as well, but I want to get this built up with, I don't know, probably 26-inch wheels with rim brakes. I've bolted on an adapter for the brakes so I can run the disc in this event, but I don't really want to weld anything onto it because, I don't know, it's just a cool old frame. I think rim brakes will be fun. What's your opinion on that? I really don't know what to do. I also found a cool set of suspension forks online. They're new old stock, 100mm travel. They'll fit right in there, so tempting. So tempting. Anyway, it's riding good. I've got a bike packing trip coming up this weekend, so I'm about to put some racks and stuff on it, put all my bags on, which I should mention, here's my frame bag out of the other Mongoose. Because this is pretty much the same size frame, this just fits straight in there perfectly, so very happy about that. Once I got all the bags on, I'll show you what it looks like, and that way you can see what I'm going to be running at the hunt. Anyway, I like it a lot. Alright, bit more of an update. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that a lot of my videos kind of just roll on from the last video. And in that last video, I told the world that I had signed up to the Hunt 1000, which is a 1,000 kilometer bikepacking event. Well, this video is kind of been about the bike build. So if there's anyone new here watching, this next section is probably going to be confusing as hell. But essentially, I wanted to talk about what gear I was taking on the Hunt 1000. Now, I've decided not to do that for two reasons. One is I've just done two pretty big bikepacking trips. I did a 150k loop around Walker in mid sort of northern New South Wales, and I've just done the Attack of the Buns route, which is a 320 kilometer route. And I had a few little bike issues. One, my chain ring wasn't meshing properly, and when it started raining and got all dirty, I had some issues. So anyway, I've bought a new chain ring, new cassette, new chain. I'm just going to freshen all that up for this big event. Now, I'm still waiting for that, so you can see the bike's sort of in pieces at the moment. And another issue, which I showed earlier in this video, a dodgy brake mount that I did. Well, I made it a bit different to what I'd done in the past, and it was a massive failure. It kind of scissor actioned, and it was a disaster. So I've actually made a whole new bracket down here now, which should work a lot better. Anyway, I still haven't really refined how I'm packing everything, and I'm being a bit stressed trying to work out where I'm putting everything on the bike. I've been looking at the weather forecast. This Hunt 1000 is going to have like really bad weather, so it's a bit of a shit fight. So rather than trying to show you all the gear I'm taking and everything, I just thought I'd wrap this video up and yeah, explain that, and maybe after it I'll show you what I've packed and all that. But for now I've got this video to finish editing as I'm filming it, but I've got the Walker trip that I did, the Attack of the Buns ride, and I want to film a heap of stuff on the Hunt 1000. So I'm going to have 3 riding films to work on after the Hunt 1000. So yeah, the whole making a video about what's on the bike's not priority at the moment. Anyway, that's about it from me. I need to get a haircut. Hope everyone else is doing good. Can't remember if there's anything else I wanted to say. Probably not, but I'm excited for the Hunt 1000. Not excited for all the rain that's forecast, but it's going to be an adventure, that's for sure. Anyway, once I get back, I'll get into editing, and that's going to take a while. So, see you guys. Thanks for watching.